Bitcoin is in the news daily at the moment, and that's no real surprise. Donald Trump has made Bitcoin strategic reserves a very big talking point. Every country has seen the success of some companies like MicroStrategy and their heavy investment into Bitcoin. We're starting to see legislation coming in. We expected this was all going to happen. It's starting to happen at a relatively fast rate, particularly since the ETFs and BlackRock's move into Bitcoin. With all of that in mind, where's Bitcoin going this year? Now, before I get into any of that, if you're new here, this spreadsheet shows the first 26 coins that I did videos about on the channel. In each of the videos, I showed myself buying these coins. These were cryptos that I thought were going to do very, very well and make a lot of money. And you can see what they're all worth when I recorded my videos. These are the highs these cryptos hit 16 months on. And these are what your profits would have been if you'd popped $100 into each of them. So 100 into each in that time would have made you over 123 grand. Now, you don't have 16 months. We're in a bull cycle right now. If you're sitting on cryptos you're not happy with, if you're sitting on cryptos that aren't making you money, have a look at copymycrypto.com. That's the site I run where I share all the coins I own with my members. When I'm ready to buy or sell a crypto, I tell my members the crypto that I'm going to buy or sell and the price that I'm going to buy or sell at. So all my members get in and out of coins at the same price as me, which means they make the same profit and they don't have any work to do at all. And if you go onto my site, you can see some of the profits my members have made, which is public record. Go onto the old videos on this channel, you can verify it. You can also see some of my past successes, which again is public record, and the old videos on this channel will verify it. And if after reading through the site and looking at everything, verifying, you like what you see, and you want to find out the cryptos I think are going to be the big winners, like I predicted with Phantom, which is now Sonic, but all you've got to do to find out about any of those coins is join up on the site. Now, Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's had some hell of a run, hasn't it, since it was created. All-time high is 109,000, so we're a little not far off that now. We've seen crypto do those kind of moves in a day. I don't think we'll see that necessarily for Bitcoin. We know what Bitcoin is. It's the first crypto. It's created by Satoshi Nakamoto. Whether that's an individual or group of people, no one really knows. He holds a million plus Bitcoin. So if that person is alive, or that group of people is alive, and they decide that they actually want to bank some of that money now, that will have a noticeable impact on the markets. Bitcoin has become the most mainstream of all cryptos. It is now the talking point in the political sphere. Hell, it was in 2021. There were UK politicians talking about a possible flippening, where, that was a discussion point that was happening in 2021 about, is Ethereum ever going to flip Bitcoin? And yeah, Bitcoin's role is now a store of value. Originally, it was, a peer-to-peer crypto. Ideally, it was like a payment crypto. However, as it's became more and more mainstream, as it moved away from the use case of sort of the Silk Road days, it is now, like I said, viewed as a store of value. And part of the reason for that is that max supply is 21 million. It is now more scarce than gold. It has been for a while. But because it's more scarce than gold, when you're basing the value of something on its rarity, the only way is up is kind of the mentality, right? And it's certainly a mentality that Michael Saylor has at MicroStrategy. It appears to be that now BlackRock hold that opinion as well, and many other companies. They have had some upgrades over the course of their time. The largest corporate holders of Bitcoin, there's MicroStrategy. I do believe that's probably flipped to, I think that's flipped to BlackRock now because of all BlackRock's subsidiaries they've been buying. But you've got MicroStrategy that own a ton. You've got Coinbase, Square, Marathon Digital. As I said, you've got BlackRock. You've got countries now. The US owns a lot of Bitcoin. And as I said, we've had Donald Trump not that long ago talking about the use case of a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This is now becoming more and more of a discussion point in a lot of different areas of the US. North Carolina's House of Representatives have advanced legislation aiming to that allows the state to invest public funds in Bitcoin, which would set a precedent in the US. And the idea being, obviously, if they can invest public funds in Bitcoin, they get earn, and then they can sell them. They've got more money to then use for public services or whatever else they're going to be using it for. The Singapore Gulf Bank has unveiled 24/7 crypto clearing network. Again, this is the idea behind this is to effectively give allow international payments more simply. And the cost of international payments is reduced heavily with the use of blockchain tech. We've seen Matthew Siegel of Van Eck talking about central banks and sovereign wealth funds becoming more aggressive in adopting Bitcoin, not only as a store of value but a medium of exchange, believing that Bitcoin could see $3 million per token by 2050. Is that possible? Yeah, probably is. Nigeria's law has officially recognized Bitcoin as a security. This is the thing. We are constantly seeing these news stories day in and day out. And it's going to be happening more and more and more. Bitcoin is the modern version of gold. It's that simple. We look at gold right now. Gold has been exploding to new highs, $3,300, whatever it is. And we're going to see Bitcoin do the same. Like, there is an inevitability to this. Long-term value of Bitcoin is only going to go up and up and up. And the benefit of, and the fact that you can buy, 0.0000001 Bitcoin and you have Bitcoin exposure means everyone can get involved to some degree. I can't see a world where this doesn't start rising. Now, lots of people are getting very, very excited about this particular bull cycle. We are seeing lots of predictions from some of the most well-known investors worldwide, many of whom are predicting Bitcoin at 200,000 this bull cycle, 300,000 this bull cycle. I've seen a few people predicting anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million this bull cycle. My personal perspective, I think that is a little bit soon. I think there is absolutely a world where we do see Bitcoin at $1 million a coin. I just don't think it is in the next 4 years. I think it's going to take a little bit. I think it's going to take far longer than that. In this bull cycle, I still think the initial target for Bitcoin is 125 grand. There are measured moves within the charts that suggest 125 grand. Now, after it hits there, if Bitcoin's hitting 125 grand by, let's say, July, or even August, then we would probably be looking at a much higher level. Maybe it does hit 150. Maybe it can tickle 200,000. But we do have to understand that actually there is a diminishing gains perspective on Bitcoin. From each bull cycle to bull cycle, the actual gains have dropped. Yes, obviously, the new all-time highs keep happening, but the actual the percentage rise continues to drop. And that's the reality, right? You can't, after it gets to a certain point, a Bitcoin doing a 10x is not that bloody easy. You're talking about moving trillions of dollars in money. So this is why I do think when we start seeing predictions of like 500,000, 1 million this year, it's outlandish, it's improbable. Anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. Say a global currency collapses. It's very possible Bitcoin could have an immense rally from that. You don't know how anything's going to play out in this world. But one thing I think, from my perspective, and that's based on the historical chart patterns, is that Bitcoin isn't ready. It isn't there. And there's too much money to move this by a 10x in a year. I think we're looking at maybe maybe at the best case scenario, a couple 100,000. But and again, I say, and like again, the charts say initial target is 125 grand. There's a measured move. After it hits the 125 grand, then we can talk. Then we can talk. Can it get to 200? But anyone that's talking about 500,000 or 1 million, I think there is a fanboy perspective that is driving that, along with a kind of irrational thought based upon the fact that BlackRock and big companies are in. And the fact that so many investors have seen BlackRock enter, they now think their success to 500,000 is inevitable. I've always thought it's inevitable, but not because of BlackRock. And I don't think it can just do it in a year because BlackRock are involved. Now, obviously Bitcoin's the most well-known crypto. Obviously it's the biggest. Of the blue chip cryptos that are knocking about, right? You're like your Ethereums, your Solanas, your XRPs, your Suis, whatever, right? BNBs. What's your favorite blue chip crypto? What do you think is the one people are sleeping on right now that's going to have an immense year? Let me know which one you think in the comments down below. And guys, look, we're in a bull cycle right now, and if you're not happy with the cryptos you own, get onto copymycrypto.com. Just have a read through the site. It is the site I run where I share every single coin I own with my members. When I'm ready to buy or sell any coin, I tell my members the coin that I'm going to buy or sell and the price that I'm going to buy or sell my coins at. This means my members get in and out of cryptos at the same price as me, so they make the same profit and they don't have any work to do at all. Now, if you go onto my site, you can see some of the profits my members have made. You can see some of my past successes. It's all public record. Also, look at, just the history, like Phantom. Obviously, it's now rebranded Sonic, but Phantom, no one was talking about in 2020, went from 0.5 cent to $3.46, nearly 700x gains. If you want to find out the coins that I think are going to be the winners in this bull cycle, all you have to do to find out about that is join up on the site, guys. And if you do, I'll see you there. Otherwise, folks, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.